Right now, what we have to do is to designate two secretaries or scrutiny people to count the votes that we will be taking by ballots. So I need 2 volunteers from the floor. Whoever wants to be a volunteer, please raise your hand and we will take your name. The requirements to do this is you have to be an owner, you have to be here and be current with your HOA dues and no fines in construction. So what we call a very good citizen. Okay, please, there is one. Oh, we already have 2, perfect. Jose, can you take the names of these people, please? Thank you. Thank you very much for your cooperation and your help. Once I get the names, I will read them to you so we all know who are our 2 clerks for today's assembly. While we wait, I will go to the next item, which is to approve the agenda of last year, November 2022 Ordinary Assembly meeting minutes as recorded in Mexicali and posted in the HOA website. You know, it's a www.eldoradoranchhoa.com.mx. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? A second? Okay, those in favor, please raise your hand. Those not in favor? Okay, it passed. I would like to introduce your current supervisors committee, Mr. Dick Peterson as president. He is over there. Mr. Ed Jones, he's here in the front. And Mr. Philip Van Rensburg, who is, he cannot be here today because he is going through a surgery procedure right now, these days, so he won't be able to be here. But we recognize him too because they have been doing a very good job. Enthusiastic participation all the time. You know that we get together once a month and sometimes more than that. Yes. The name of the clerks today is Claudia Hancock and Sue Cotter. Thank you very much. We appreciate your help. Okay, now Mr. Dick Peterson will present the supervisory committee report.
Thank you, Roberto. I know I've done this before, but I take a couple minutes to introduce a few people. First, where are they? Oh, I'd like to recognize your customer service representatives, headed by Zarina Bellardi, Jose, and I think where's Lolita is. She's outside, yeah. Also, our webmaster, Christine Buffalo, who many of you know as the Walker. She holds a walking session every Monday and Wednesday. Ricardo Perez, where's Ricardo? There he is over there. He is our operations manager. Ricardo is responsible for security, road maintenance, and pretty much anything else that has to do with the physical plant on the ranch. He has several supervisors or department heads, and including our new head of security, Israel Valverde. Eduardo Garcia Lalo. He is our head accountant. He's the guy that holds the checkbook, along with his able-bodied assistant, Alex. Many people who go fishing know Alex. He's an excellent rod and reel repair person. Ricardo Montano. Is Ricardo here? No, he's not here. He is in charge of our technical review committee, which is all by volunteer residents, and he is in charge of plan reviews, following CC's and ours rules and regulations. Now, for some reason every year, I get a question from people after a general assembly or when they see this guy around on the ranch saying, who is that guy that sits up at the front desk? Well, the guy is Roberto Islas, and Roberto is the administrator of your HOA. The HOA employs a management company. Jesus Olmos is the president of that management company. Jesus, in turn, appoints an administrator, and that administrator is Roberto. He is not an employee of your HOA. Now,
El video, ¿cuándo es después de él?
Ed Jones and Philip, as Roberto mentioned, I believe that we have a good team together. It works well with the administration. The three of us meet several times a month, communicate on email, as well as the monthly supervisors meeting. We are an integral part of the budget process, and our suggestions are usually implemented. As I said, we have a good working relationship with the administration and mutual respect. And I'll have more on the budget in a little bit here. Security is always a topic that people talk about and is a concern to everybody. As I previously mentioned in the other meeting, your supervisors formulated the entry and exit procedure, and security now gives us immediate reports on ranch incidents. We have created a WhatsApp group between the supervisors, Roberto and Ricardo, because we want to know what's happening, when it's happening, the same day it's happening. And we've also agreed that if there's a power outage, that the guards at the gates will know within an hour and a half of the outage. The only problem with that, and that we had a couple of months ago, is that CFE doesn't know about it either. And so when we've gone to their office and Ricardo was going down there, they're like, where, what? In the past power outage, major outage, middle of the night, they're going up and down the road, CFE's going up and down the road looking at the vaults, trying to figure out where the shortage was. Well, the major shortage ended up with a flooded vault over by San Diego Sol entrance. And there was a big explosion over there, blew apart the whole concrete vault. But CFE couldn't find it. It took them almost 2 days to find the problem. Another thing that we implemented last year, if you're leaving the ranch after 11 o'clock at night up to 6 o'clock in the morning, your car sticker isn't good enough. You have to show your resident ID. It is hopeful that this will cut down or eliminate any potential car or vehicle thefts from the ranch. There have been some that have come up to me after we did it, come up to me recently and said, hey, why don't we have to show our paths? Why don't we show our paths every time we leave? Whether it's daytime, nighttime, and everything else. And I said, okay, that's a good idea. But then there's those that Roberto told me just the other day, 3 cars were lined up at the Saltillo gate. The guard was checking the ID of a worker, and the guy gets out of his car and is screaming because he had to wait 3 minutes to get out. So I guess we can't win. and how to take care of going in and out of the ranch. Another thing that we are doing, and it's a big problem, is falsified documents and improperly completed documents, and it continues to haunt your HOA. If you're living your home for an extended period of time, don't give those people a visitor's pass, which basically says that they're staying in your home. But you know they're not there. They're watering your plants or whatever. Fill out the necessary form that's available at the security office, and they get a worker's pass so they can come in and out of your ranch. It's the same thing that those people that have housekeeping people come to their home. Fill out this form. It's the easiest thing to do for you and for them. There has been incidents where recently this past year where there's been people that had visitors passes. Later, Gene, this is just a report. We'll take comments at the end of the meeting, okay? Recently, we had individuals that were given visitor passes. We knew they weren't working or living in the home. They were coming back and forth. And people questioned, why are they using the pool? Why are they coming in and out? So please, if you have individuals doing that, do it the proper way and follow through with a workers' form. I will continue to post the monthly incidents in the newsletter from the previous month. There will not be an immediate disbursement of information, and in several incidents, there are ongoing investigations, and we don't want that information out. Recently, we caught 2 individuals this past month. They have been arrested, and they are in the process of being prosecuted. If we had posted that, there was a good chance that we wouldn't have caught these people. With Mexican law, if somebody isn't physically carrying the goods or in the act, there's no we think process. Either they have the goods or they don't. This past month of October, I'm aware of 5 thefts of break-ins. Some became known when residents arrived back home from an extended time away from the residence. One with tools being left out around their home, and somebody picked up the tools. Somebody even broke into a cistern and stole water. Now, that isn't an outside worker taking water out of a cistern. So, some of the thefts are internal, unfortunately. In one case, this past month, there was a brand new mini split in box that was taken from the home. Security reviewed videos and exit information, and there was no indication that that mini split ever left the ranch. One of the big issues that we all think about is delinquent. Non-paying owners of ranch property is always a problem. As previously pointed out in previous meetings, non-paying owners have been given the option of turning in their property back to the developer. To date this year, there's been over 600 properties that have been turned back into the developer. The delinquent list is currently being updated to reflect those new numbers. What? Oh, are they?
It's already posted.
All right, so she just posted the update. Thank you. One of the issues we have when the letters have been sent out and the individual agrees to turn the property back to the developer, they've got personal property on their lot, and they haven't signed off that personal property. So in several incidences where we're trying to clean up these lots, they have taken a trailer or what's there, if it's something movable, and taking it to the storage lot that the developer has next to the dog park at the south end of the ranch. As you remember, a couple years ago, you voted to list names of people that are in delinquency. And someone had recently suggested as individuals, we count those on the list, and tell them to pay up or move on. And if you look at the list, you'll see that some of them are friends that you know, play golf with, play tennis or whatever, but they live someplace else. So if you happen to see these people, look at the list and give them a nudge. You know, pay up or get out. Because it's hurting us all. Another, I want to say a warning that that people should be aware of. I don't know if you knew or not, but according to Mexican law, if you rent property, you're supposed to have a real estate license and pay appropriate Mexican taxes. With San Felipe becoming the municipality and getting their computers up and getting their act together more and more, you can bet that they're going to start looking at those taxes due them, just so you know. Sales and new home construction this past year, currently through the month of September, there were 17 permits for new homes and major building additions, which is inconsistent with last year. Now, I want to spend some time talking to you about what we're all probably here for, the need for the 18% increase in dues. I would like to show you some graphs explaining those, but first, let's discuss some of the government programs that were implemented at the end of last year after your HOA budget was created. As you were told in the accompanying letter with the budget, water rates increased 30%. You probably saw the increase when you ordered water for your cistern. CFE also put through about a 20% increase. Add that to the increased cost of gas, diesel fuel, and propane that weren't projected. We started off the year behind the 8 ball. And you know all know what happened to the peso exchange rate. New labor laws were also put into place at the first of the year that we were not aware of when we created the budget. Increase in minimum wage, which all of our employees are above. Addition of 12 vacation days for all new workers. So you work for 1 year, you get 12 vacation days. 2 years, you get 14, going all the way up to 28 days if you have 25 years of service. All this has been increasing. On top of that, there's an existing Christmas bonus or holiday, which equals 15 days wages. There's mandated IMSS, Social Security that we pay, double and possible triple overtime. There's something else that probably nobody knows about is Infonaviv, Mexican word, I hope I pronounced correctly, which is something that the employer has to pay 5% of an employee's wages into a fund for low-income housing assistance. If there's an employee that wants to apply for a loan for low-income housing, that's where the money's at. So that's one of the requirements in the law. In 2020, trying to do a comparison, there were benefits amounting to about 25% over the raw wage rate. Today, it's over 30%. And your HOA conforms to all the laws for deductions and paying the employees. On top of this, we have found out that there's currently a proposal before the Mexican Congress to reduce the work week from 48 to 40 hours. This too will have an impact on our budget. People wonder why the gates are closed. Earlier this year I proposed if we pay overtime or double time, to maintain those gates, to close them up. And that's what we've done. And we also wanted to identify overtime. So if you look at the monthly financial budget, you'll see, the security, you'll see that there's two lines, one for regular time and one for overtime. And there's been some months that overtime equaled about 1/3 of what the raw wage was. So when the 21 gate is closed, or the Rancho del Sol gate is closed, that's pretty much why. Now, recently someone was comparing what other campos pay, other developments pay. And I know some of you think, well, you don't care about them, all you care about what we have here. But I think it's interesting to point out that at Pete's Camp, for example, a lot pays from $2,800 to $4,000 a year in lease fees. And there's no amenities. And you don't own the property. Plus, the ambulance service that they implemented last year, another $365 per lot. At PDO, Pioneer, they pay a little over $1,000 a year. And what do they have for amenities? A small pool and one gate. Campo Ovatio lots are now paying $1,500 and up, depending on the lot position. And for what I understand, they recently had their meeting and they're going up another 10%. And with what amenities? Anybody who knows where south of town, Campo Las Suarez, they average about $1,500 a year in dues. And you're getting what amenities are over there. Oh, they got a beach. So do we. Some people question capital expenditures as presented in the budget. I like to call the capital expenditures a wish list. No money, no expenditure. You will see there are allocations for a water truck, a grader, and a couple of pickups, plus other miscellaneous items. They are needed. When we had K come through last year, unfortunately, 2 of our graders were down, one transmission and one hydraulic issue, which had to be taken to Mexicali for repair. So we had one grader to take care of all of the roads for over a month. Another grader is needed. When we bought the 3rd grader last year, or 2 years ago, it was $110,000. You know how prices have gone up. Now we're looking at a used, good condition grader for $160,000. Wow. Christine? All right, now I want to show you some graphs. These were put together by Philip and Rexburg. And the first graph shows you the rate of inflation. And you look at the red line, that's where your dues have gone in comparison to inflation. Some years we've kept up with it, and other years we haven't. If you look at the overall, the inflation increase has been 94.5% over the past 10 years. The second graph, Christine. That's the value of the dollar over the past 10 years. Christine, next one. The third graph there shows you the peso to the dollar exchange rate. And at the end there is where we did the budget at 17 to 1. They project by year end, it's going to be about 18. Next year, if we look at projections, it's a low of 15, up to 18, and 20, it's all over the boards, depending on what month you look at. Next one. This one here shows the number of contributing owners. Pretty much self-explanatory. Over 5,000 in 2014. down to a base this year, when we're doing our budget, of $2,800. Now, the last one is sort of interesting, shows the actual peso income over the past 10 years. The red line shows your HOA efficiency. So really, when you look at it, with less money, your HOA has tried to continue existing amenities, and in our opinion, we've done a pretty good job to maintain, and we have maintained about the same number of employees. So I hope this gives you some explanation as to the increase. And understand what we're trying to do with the employees and keeping the amenities. I'd like to close by saying that there's several ways that you can contact us. And your supervisors are always willing to meet with anybody or any group of people that want to get together. If you go on the website, HOA website, does everybody have access to the HOA website? Anybody that doesn't know what I'm talking about? Okay. There are different ways in the site map. You can see ask a supervisor, request for action, ask an administrator. If you go to ask a supervisor, this question goes to the three of us as well as Roberto. Now, I was just talking to somebody before the meeting and said, how come we don't hear from anybody else? Well, we get a consensus. If there's a question that comes to, it goes to all of us, and I will contact Philip and Ed and Roberto if needed. Otherwise, if it's just a policy issue, we all know what that is, and we'll respond. I will respond immediately. But what's that? Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you can see that, but if you go to the website, and there's a sign-in page, and there's even instructions going back and forth. Christine had mentioned she wanted to have a Saturday session instructing people how to use the website. So maybe we'll do that in the future. Request for action. Use this request if you want your yard trimmings taken care of, your bees taken care of. I post the monthly road grading. Like, so in the newsletter this month, I posted all the November grading. If you feel that your road is in such dire need, use the request for action, put it in there. That gives us a written record that we review every month at our meeting. Ask an administrator. That goes directly to Roberto. If you don't want any of us to know about it, you just send it right to Roberto. And he'll look at it and throw it in the garbage can. Violation report, dues of rules and regulations. That goes directly to Ricardo Montaño, the head of TRC. I had somebody recently ask me how they can follow through with incessant dog barking at their neighbor's home. They've called security, nothing happened. Well, the next step would be for them to file with the TRC because there are rules and regulations. And just a reminder, posting questions and concerns on Facebook doesn't get you any needed results. Your supervisors, like I said, will gladly meet with any group of residents to discuss any issues or questions you may have. And just remember, we're all in this together, finding proper solutions to keep this gated community attractive to prospective buyers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dick. I think so. Your information was very precise and interesting for everybody present at the GA. Okay, the next item in the agenda is the appointment of president of the supervisory committee by the developer. Last week, I made a trip to Palm Springs, where Pat Butler is right now, making some examinations because he has a problem in his leg with the nerve that is being pressed by the back, in the back by his vertebrae. So he is making some studies, and I went over there because the appointment, usually he does it in person here. I went to talk with him directly, and he told me, okay, I want to appoint again Dick Peterson. And now I am asking Mr. Dick Peterson if you are in agreement to continue being the president of the supervisory committee of EDR.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we have again Mr. Dick Peterson as president. Appointment of, now we have the election of 2 supervisory committee members according to the Article 66 for a term of 2 years. By mail, you receive the curriculum of the candidates, and them are in the area website too. Now, the 2 candidates will make a presentation of themselves to you. First, I will call Mr. Ed Jones to the front so he can make his presentation.
Don't get old, folks. Good morning. It's really great to see all you guys here. Most of you know me, and some of you don't. My name is Eddie Jones. Maria and I have lived here full-time for 23 years. At one time, we've owned up to 6 different properties. I was elected as a supervisor when the HOA was formed in 2005. I have never lost an election, and I've been uninterrupted as your representative, and I appreciate you continuing to elect me. That gives me 18, 19 years of experience, so I'm deeply acquainted and involved in all the documents that we have to operate by. I almost know them by heart because every time there's a question before I give an answer, I review that information by looking it up. Now, in the past 18 years, I've either chaired or served on just about every HOA committee that was ever formed. I spent probably 20 hours a week working on HOA matters with individual owners, with management, and the other supervisors. And when BMC was formed, I was the first one to be chosen to serve on the BMC advisory board. Now, when BMC was formed, there was a contract signed by the HOA with BMC, and actually we didn't get a choice in it. However, upon renewal, Pat Butler said, "You will negotiate with the supervisors." Let me tell you something. We were very instrumental. We cut the annual cost to BMC by $200,000 a year. The original contract was a flat amount regardless of the number of people paying their dues. And as you saw in the past chart, our number of owners is reducing every year, but that amount never changed. At the end of that contract, we pressed hard, and we only now pay BMC based on current owners. And that's been an initial reduction of $200,000 a year. And for the next item, it was controversial. I was even called racist. I led the effort to keep seaside renters using seaside facilities. That way, we gave the pool, most of the pool, back to you owners who you paid for it. And when you used to go over there, all the chairs were taken, you couldn't sit your family down, so you went home pissed off. Well, the pool is given back to you because if they rent seaside, they use seaside facilities. The current supervisory team has been together now for 3 years. I think we've been very effective. We've been deeply involved in the budget. We get an original budget. The three of us get together. We then meet with the management. We make our recommendations, and like Dick said, most of the time, everything we suggest has been accepted. We work very closely with new residents, helping them learn to live here. It took me a year to learn to live here. And a lot of people come down here, really don't quite understand, because they drive across in their car and they've got direct TV, they feel like they're in America. You might as well be in Italy. This is a foreign country, and foreign country laws exist, foreign country traditions exist. So it's been my pleasure, and I thoroughly enjoy when new people buy property. I go spend a couple hours with them, help them get on the website, explain the banking system, the budget, and how the HOA works. Bottom line, I would appreciate your vote again this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. As Ed said, many years of service in different areas in all the committees that we have formed, and even before I was here too. Okay, the second candidate is Mr. Philip Van Rensburg. He's not here today because he is in surgery too during these days. But we have a presentation that we videotape. Remember that in some of the past town halls, somebody recommended that we buy a new camera and microphones, and we have been doing that. So now we are able to record the different presentations that we want to do when they are not present.
Ms. Philip Van Rensburg, and my wife Thursday and I are permanent residents at Hacienda del Sol in El Dorado Ranch. My history is I was born in South Africa and on the East Coast, and I was born and raised there, so I spent most of my life in South Africa. I started my career in the police department, and I did my military service in South Africa. And after that, I did an engineering degree, mechanical engineering, and I also did an electrical engineering degree. I worked primarily in the sugar industry in the beginning in South Africa and Central Africa, and as engineering manager. And then I joined South African breweries in the Cape Province of South Africa in Cape Town, where I worked for around 12 years as operations manager and packaging manager. I was then transferred to the USA in 2001 when my company bought another brewing company. And I transferred to Milwaukee, where I worked as director of engineering, also director of utilities and security, and in my last 12 years before I retired in 2018, I worked as operations manager in Urbandale Brewery in California. So I've had a lot of experience in terms of security. I've had a lot of experience with managing people. I've done an MBA in packaging operations. I've done an MBA in brewing and malting practices. And of course, finances and economics goes with that. When I came to El Dorado Ranch in 2018, we had built a home in Hacienda del Sol. We decided that this is where we aim to live, and there have no other properties in the world anymore, and this is it. So I spent the first couple of years looking to see how things are going, and I had a lot of work in my home. But then I decided that I wanted to be part of the operations and understand what's going on, because the value of my home was visibly deteriorated because of the economic situation in the USA, and of course rebounding in Mexico And I wanted to understand how that was happening and what we could do about it. As a supervisor, which I was elected in 2021, a supervisor is really a representative of the people. We don't really get involved or have any powers in the operations of the HOA, but we do work with them to find ways to have solutions for things like security or owners' issues that they have and so forth. Whilst I was living here before I became a supervisor, there was a number of security issues which were presenting themselves in Hacienda del Sol. Like there was unfettered access through the greenbelt into Hacienda del Sol. People could drive from the main road into Hacienda del Sol. And I worked with some other residents in Hacienda del Sol. We gave that issue some precedence in the HOA administration, and they got that resolved. So I then realized that if we as a team get together and work with the HOA administration, we'll get a lot more done than being against them all the time. Now, a lot of people feel they need to be against the HOA, and I don't believe that. I believe that myself and Dick Peterson and Ed Jones on the mountainside, we formed a good team. We don't all go shooting our mouth off about what we believe. We have one place of communication, which is through Dick Peterson, and we're very aligned about what we should be doing. Fortunately, the last couple of years, we have been faced with some severe issues, and I know Dick Peterson has raised those in his speech, so I won't go into too much of the details of that. Our cost of living increases that we've had, the inflation rate, the issues with Mexican peso and the strength of the dollar, and unfortunately the steep decline in people that have paid their dues over the last 10 years. Most half of the people have not paid their dues. And faced with that, the HOA administration has taken some tough times. We've had to really look and see how we could improve efficiencies and how we could look at major costs without there doing much impact to the employees. We did a lot of work with security when I first started. We met with them, they showed us their processes, they showed us their training methods, and through that coordination and combination of our force, there was a large improvement in how security was going about their daily business. We made the access control simple for them so they could understand and very clear about what they can do, what they shouldn't do, and who should get access and who should not. And there's been a marked improvement in the whole security situation there at Dorado, which we're very pleased about. And I think the security needs to be applauded for that. They've done a great job. Also, we've got involved with Article 81, which is a way for people to appeal if they feel they've been incorrectly handled with by the TRC or the HOA administration. And we've had a number of cases where we were involved with that, and we got some very unique solutions to those problems, to both the happiness to the TRC and the people. So I'm very pleased to say that we've got that process. So if you're not happy and you feel that you can compromise, you can ask the supervisors to hear your Article 81 case. Also started looking at how we can identify the people who don't pay their dues every year. And a very difficult scenario to work through because there are a lot of legalities involved in Mexico, and we need to find a way to get around those and how we can utilize those to get more people to pay their dues. Finally, as a representative for the people, it's very important that people ask us to represent them by giving us information or items that they are concerned about in writing on the website or in writing at the HOA office, so we can then go and work on it and resolve it. We will not work on social media. I don't even read social media. So if you're sending a message, I'm not getting it. If you send me an email, I'll get it. And then we will work on it.
Pregúntale a la Lolita.
And I think we're all responsible for what happens in the shops. I'm just volunteering to do this on your behalf. So please help me. Please let's get this stuff done. And I think we need to go forward from it. Thank you very much.
We really appreciate the opportunity that we have using the new communication tools that we have acquired so we can hear Philip through the video almost as in person. Okay, right now we are going to make the voting for the election of candidates. We have two candidates. I ask our two clerks, Mrs. Claudia Hancock and Mrs. Sue Cotter, to come to the front with Serena and please vote for the supervisors, and the activities team will pick up the ballots, please.
Hi.
So are we choosing one or the other or both?
Two.
Oh, you pick two.
There are two,
Ah.
The two are...
Ese nos tienen que entregar, Sari.
I'm
counting, I don't know.
You are counting? What is your name?
Sue Cutter.
Sue Cutter.
And I'm Claudia.
Okay. So the guys will pick the ballots and they will bring them here.
Oh, okay.
So you can...
Ya abrimos la oficina de Lolita, ya fue
Sí,
chino.
ya se fue.
Y también Lolita, nomás el chino.
No, nomás de chino.
Pero no tiene
Estaba
hijos.
por- Pero sí, ya se...
Never got signed in. I was late and told him to sit down, so I just left.
Oh.
So do I sign in?
It's already closed. The signing. Yeah.
Was he announcing it? I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yes. Yes, it's already. We already come. The signing.
All right.
¿Esos tú los traías, Sari?
Sí, esos son de que mandaron ya los votos por correo.
These are for both.
Aquí están esos. ¿Y este qué es, Sari?
Esa no.
Acá están los. I know, somebody else handed me theirs too.
¿A ti te lo dio?
Sí, me lo dio el.
Pues no votaron.
No votaron.
Those are empty. I mean, there's two candidates and two winners. So.
Have everybody give their ballots? It
¿Y
seems
esos
that
así los puedes
everybody has
recibir, los
them.
que no tienen nada?
Déjame le pregunto.
Los entre uno. Ajá.
Ando revuelto, no sé ni qué hacer.
Ok.
Some people voted for one and not the other. I noticed on there. Right here, see?
So do we mark that?
Yes, yeah, we
If
have
they-
to count.
Okay. I'm gonna do it this way.
While we wait for the results, we have more than 100 slides in the work that we have been doing through the whole year. So at the end of the budget and all that, we will be showing the slideshow, not making a commentary on each one. We will just pass them slow so you can see them. And but you have the chance to, if you want to look them long time. All of them are
¿Qué
on the
asistencia
website,
tuvimos o tenemos?
and they are in one
Fueron
stack,
del dueño.
so you can check everything that we have done for the whole year.
113,
There is a work have been
113
going in the roads.
dos proxies y
Everything.
20
Everything is
boletas.
new tires,
regulares.
new
Dice que
cars,
dice
new
113
whatever we have bought is
Sí.
there.
Así que ahora son menos. Bueno.
Sí.
Estos son los. See, I'm separating
Okay.
them, right? Yeah. But these were just Ed. Ed, okay, and those are just, yeah, so I've done that. And these are all both. These are all both. Okay, so. Estos son los que no votaron. Okay, there should be 10 in each one of these stacks if you want to double count them. Okay. So there's 40.
we can meet the numbers at the end of the year. The increase of the budget in this year is 18% because of the reason we had mentioned before. I will give the explanation at the end of the presentation. The budget for 2020-24 is $4,568,200. This will allow us to buy the machines that we need, some cars, equipment for the people, and revive, for example, sometimes we have to buy the pumps in the pool, we have to buy the machinery that heats the pool, which is not cheap, I can tell you. We have to import it from the United States, from a very specialized company that makes them. But they provide an excellent service in customer service for us to maintain the equipment the best way possible with their collaboration. The expenses in administration for this year were at $766,741. The projection number is over, you can see, $789,889. It's easy to say, why did you go over if we are short? It's because of the special situation that happened this year with all the external facts that are affecting us. And that's why we have to take these measures. For 2024, we have $808,749. Go down, please, Christine, maintenance. Total general maintenance, same thing, $748,917. $858,060 and $938,052. A little bit slow. Smaller, please. A little bit. Okay, the next one is, but I have to see the title. I don't have it in my mind. It's activities, 113,196, 115,437, 133,191. We go down, please. Security, 811,784, 907,723, 997,524. Security is very, very important in El Dorado Ranch. We are the safest place in town, I can tell you, and it is recognized by the authorities in town, police, all the authorities, Navy, Army, Guardia Nacional. Every time they come here, they make their patrolling, and they say, you know guys, you really are on top of it. We have less problems in El Dorado than we have in any part of San Felipe, or in the camps in the south, which are in very hard condition. Indirect cost. This includes the contracts like BMC and the collection of garbage, etc. 1,321,846, 1,126,348. Here we have cut in the expenses like Ed mentioned with BMC, for example, that allow us to pay less. And for the next year is 1,384,567. In total, the new budget and the old budget of this year, still this year, 3,983,000, 3,886,000, and for the next year, 4,568,200. With this number, we think we can rebuy what we need and go ahead. There will be things that we'll be doing. We are all the time working to find a way. As Ed said, it has not been easy. We have been, and Dick say it too, we have been working together to find ways to save and to make the most we can. In one of the graphics that Dick presented, the services of the HOA were a line that hasn't been diminished. That has not been easy. I came in 2014, we are in 2023, that's 9 years, and we have kept the services and the amenities for all of you at the same level. And we want to keep doing that. Okay, now, okay. This is an explanation of what we base our analysis of the situation. Next one, please. The dollar-peso exchange is a very important factor in our economy. As the peso gets stronger, the dollars we receive affects our budget negatively as we get less pesos per dollar. Projected exchange rate for 2023 was 20 pesos per $1. Real exchange rate for 2023 is 16.70 average per $1. Total loss per dollar, 3.30. And when we talk about millions, that's a lot of money. It's around 13 million pesos. So that's why we have that situation with the exchange rate. Next, please. The exchange rate I show you here, here is in EDR. The difference is $13 million pesos. I'm sorry. So you can see the difference, and it's not easy to work with that amount of money less. And I included here La Ventana and Las Villas because we will do that presentation tomorrow. Next, please. The service cost. As Dick mentioned before, as of January 1st, 2023, the government of Baja California decreed a percentage increase in the cost of water, 30%. That was a total surprise for everybody. It was an uproar in all Baja, but it stayed. For sure, if you increase water, if you increase the services of the government, everything goes up. The average increase in water supplies and services, CFE, electricity, LP gas, gasoline and diesel, 20% more or less. Machinery, 20% increase on parts and supplies for machinery that we need for maintenance. Next, please. Cutback in dues payers. The cutback or diminishing number of dues paying owners has been dropping per year about 8 to 10%. For more specific information regarding diminishing payers, please visit our website and review the first page of each yearly budget where you can see the numbers of paying owners. You can see that very specifically there. Next, please. Here we have a chart. This is going to be due in the web page. So you can see here the year, how many people were paying. In 2014, it was 5,527. In 2024, it's 2804. So you can see here, and it's percentages and all that. Here is included Las Villas and La Ventana. Las Villas and La Ventana, sorry. But that's the real clear story of how we have been receiving less money in dues because the payers have come down. Next, please. The inflation this year is going to be 6%, estimated. The government says it's going to be 3.1. Ha ha ha. I laugh about that. They always say it's going to be little, it's always high. Because still we have to go through December and all the festivities and gifts and expenses and dinners and drinks, so that will come up. Next, please. This is the inflation index by the Banco de Mexico. Right now, you can see 408, 213, 336, 677, 483. So year by year is changing. Last year and the year before were the highest ones with 7 point plus. And in 2017, 6.77. Right now, this is like what the government is saying. This is the Banco de Mexico, is the central bank of Mexico. I tend to believe them, but is this number always increased by the end of the year? Next, please. New labor laws. The federal government decreed a 10-day increment in vacation time, 10-day increment in vacation time for all new workers whose a proportional progression in accordance with the number of years spent working for the company. For example, we have people who has worked 25 years for the HOA, and they are receiving almost 1 month of vacations right now. Nothing that we can do about it. They have been loyal, they are good workers, so they are here. Next, please. Amenities provided in El Dorado Ranch HOA. We have many activities such as table games, cinema, bingo, Spanish classes, card games, tournament tennis, pickleball, pools for entertainment, volleyball, water aerobics, activities like no other place in San Felipe, hot tubs, and very affordable golf. So besides this, we do a lot of things here for charity. Sandiqueto is all the time making baking, making events, fashion shows. The guys in activities do the Halloween party for children. We do the Thanksgiving Day for all the HOA people. So we are providing more than nobody in San Felipe to the residents. And I can tell you that it gives me a lot of pride saying that, because it's not easy, but we love when the people is happy going to the beach for the full moon mixer and enjoying the different activities. They put in food in the table, enjoying the hot dogs in the beach. So that's great, that's very good. It seems that I never there, but I know about it. Next, please. Those around San Felipe. Like Dick mentioned before, the dues on pitch can vary from beachfront to the back of their property, from 3,008 to 2,800. Playa de Oro, all homes pay 120. 1,000. If someone buys a lot, they immediately have to pay 800 till they build it. They have just had a meeting and they are going all up 10%. Campo Cotillo paying now 1,015, and not depending on position. They are also just had their meeting and they are going up 10%. Club de Pesca, $400 per month, times 12 months, 4,800. So again, you can see that we have a lot for less. These people doesn't have many amenities. Playa de Oro, as a matter of fact, is just a pool. Cotillo doesn't have any activities at all. So I think so we have to value what we have. Next, please. Conclusion. During the last 10 years, we have been able to continue offering all our services despite all increments, inflation, cutbacks, and rates. However, this year we will need to adjust our budget and thus confronting our new reality. This will be furthermore discussed here in our GA in November. For more information or doubts regarding out of the above information, please don't hesitate to visit our webpage. Thank you, Roberto Islas. Okay, this has been the presentation of the budget last year and present year. And while we are going to vote, please make it by ballot. And Christine will start passing by the slideshow slowly, one by one, so everybody can see, because they are more than 100, they are around 160. So if we see them all, we are going to be here like another 2 hours. Yeah, automatically. Okay, so right now we go for the voting of the budget. Please do it by ballot. Our activities personnel will pick them up. Go around, please, guys.
I would like to point out a couple of things. First, you look at the budget and the increase and everything else, and one thing that we didn't cover, the employees are getting, depending on their pay level and everything else, anywhere between a 6 to 10% pay increase. Going along with the additional benefits that we talk about with the government and everything else. I also want to point out, and I didn't know about this until the other day, management is not taking a pay increase. That includes Ricardo, Lalo, all the management people. They are not taking a pay increase this year. Another thing I'd like to bring up that's still under consideration, when you go to pay your dues and you use a credit card, that costs your HOA about 3% average. And we're still in discussion as to whether we're going to do it or not, but we're considering adding that 3% to your dues payment. So pay by check, pay by cash. Don't use a credit card. I know you get points or mileage or anything else, but we get charged 3%. Thank you.
All the ballots have been picked up, so right now our clerks are counting them. Thank you again for your cooperation. While we wait, we can see the sliding show.
Un zorro total. Y aparte de esto también.
Okay, I have the final counting of the budget voting. It's approved 79, disapproved 26, approved with modification 7, so abstentions 3. So the budget is approved. We have a new budget for 2024. Okay, with this conclude the business for the ordinary assembly. Is there a motion to close the meeting? Second? All in favor, raise your hand, please. Thank you for being here. Now I open the floor for questions. Please come to the front here where David is. You can take the microphone, make your questions, state your name and last name and property number. Okay. Perfect. You can register right there with your name and last name and your property number. Thank you.
Esta cajita la entrego. No,
Como las carpetas.
Hello, my name is Jean Miller, and I live at Mr. Belmont. I have 3 quick questions. Number 1, paying the HOA dues in full every year. Do we get
¿este
it?
también lo van a firmar?
In the past, when we paid our HOA dues in full for the year, we have received a discount. Does that apply for this year?
No, it was discontinued because we saw that we promoted the discount so we can get more people paying, but that doesn't happen. So what happened in the end was that we were receiving less money than we were expecting to receive.
Okay, because we always pay in full. Number 2, you had mentioned about when we have workers come to the house.
We have what?
You have mentioned that when we have workers come to the house,
Yes.
that we have to go to the office and sign a form.
Yeah.
Aren't those workers checked in every day before they go to work? And are their employees also checked out also, because we have noticed that when someone, a contractor is working on that house,
Yeah.
their workers walk around the ranch and they're looking for stuff. And we have seen them running back to their contractor.
Okay, let me explain this. One of the things is that's why we say always, for example, Dick mentioned about people who is working in the houses of the people. And as a matter of fact, they say it's a visitor, but in real, it's a worker. So instead of going and make the process of making him a pass as a worker, he has to pay only 50 pesos, less like $2, 50, the most. So it's not expensive. And this person can come in and out of the ranch going expressly. For example, if he is going to be somebody who is going to work with you only Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, let's say, for 3 hours, then when he comes in, we check that after those 3 hours, he goes out.
Right.
If he doesn't go out, we start looking for him, because
Okay.
they don't have any right to be lurking around, looking at properties or whatever.
Well, we have a cleaning service at a garden, and they have authorization to come onto the ranch. So are you saying that every time they come, we have to go to the office and...
No, what I am saying is they can go to the Punto Uno, they can register there,
Right,
they pay and they receive a card.
right,
With that, they can come in and come out anytime, but they have to specify, I am going to lot number 7200000325, whatever, and we check that they go there.
okay.
If they are not there and they are somewhere else, we go immediately with them and say, what are you doing here? You said you were going to 7,200.
Okay. My other question is, you commented about when we leave before the time, that we have to show our ID card when we leave the ranch early in the morning?
Only if you are going between 11 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've only had one guard actually ask us for our card, and he took all the information. Other times we've gone through, we've had our card, he just waved us through.
When that happened, let me tell you this, there is things that happen all the time. Maybe he was doomed, maybe he was not well informed. If something happened that is normal, report it to customer service and we will follow up on that immediately.
If you made it a rule, it should be a rule.
Yes, but we are humans. There are mistakes all the time. That's the real thing. I would like to say that nothing happened, but it really happened. If I say it doesn't happen, I try to stop the sun with one finger. Go on, Ross, please.
Ross Wilkin. Ross Wilkin, and I own properties on both Mountainside and on La Fontana side. Can I fill that out after?
Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions though. Do I turn around after each one?
Yeah.
Okay. First one, nothing was mentioned here on it, so I'm curious about it. And that's what's going on with the, if anything, the BMC proposed hospital.
Yes, they are still working on that. The last time they showed remedies to us, usually during the summer they don't come to San Felipe because it's too hot for them. I don't know why, because they live in Vegas, so it's the same weather, but they don't come during that time. We are going to have meetings very soon, and the last time they already presented the renderings of the outside. They are working with a very prestigious firm of architects in Mexicali, which is called Hermosillo y Asociados. They're really good, and the renderings are very nice. They are planning to make the clinic and some well-being center.
Okay, and just to clarify, this is strictly out of the pockets of the BMC
Yes.
financiers, nothing
Yes.
to do with HOA dues,
Nothing with our
anything like that.
money.
Next one was a suggestion. Because I have several properties, I get a lot of mail, especially this time of year. And I suggest that you have a mail merge system of some sort so that I can get one envelope instead of, I get about 12. And that costs a lot more money than it would be if you had mail merge, that I would get one larger envelope that's got, you know, all my properties and golf course dues and all that stuff in.
Okay, let us review that. Let us review that. We'll be back with you on that.
Lastly, it was mentioned, and maybe I heard it wrong, but that after 3 years of delinquency, people who don't pay their dues lose their lots. And I either heard that wrong, or I know several people that have not paid dues in many more years than that, and they still have their lots.
It's not that they lose their lots. There is the option to return the lot to the developer. That is one.
Right.
They don't lose the lots. There is two ways of losing your lot. One is from taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, then after several time, the government can make a foreclosure. Usually in Mexico, it is not done. I don't know what's going to happen with the new administration in San Felipe, because we are a small town. They need the money. So maybe they will start doing some actions like that. Not that we know now.
Right.
Maybe in the close future. The second one is the foreclosure from the HOA. But what has been done, it's a long process, it's costly, and when it's done, that we haven't concluded any one yet, but for what we are seeing is going to cost us more than we were going to get in the expenses from the lawyer and the time is spent.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. There was a question from somebody about the airport. Are you still here? No, I think so. He go away. Well, I will give the answer. So if he goes to the web page, he can hear the answer there. The airport is still managed by the state of Baja California. It's not a private airport yet. There has been a proposed agreement between the private enterprises in San Felipe and the government of Baja, but doesn't happen yet. Mainly, the first thing is to provide airport services for commercial planes. But for commercial planes, there is needed an investment in the platform to land the planes and take off. It's needed 1.5 kilometers more. So it's not a cheap toy. It's expensive, that's why it hasn't been done. But it is expected, now that we have the new municipality, that these governments start pushing the state government, because we need airplanes. That's something. And there has been always a vicious circle. The commercial airlines always says, how many hotels do you have? Well, we have, okay, don't answer me about hotels. How many rooms? Oh, we have 600. Well, we need at least 1,200. We don't have them. I have been living here since 1983. The most what we have had in San Felipe is 900. And several hotels have closed, or ones in their remodeling. So it's a circle there. There have been 3 or 4 attempts of small commercial airlines coming to San Felipe. One of the oldest ones was Bahia. They start making commuting from Los Angeles and Orange County, I think so. Then there was another 3 companies, different companies. Jet, LA something. That was a big scam. They started doing a very good service, not just to San Felipe, to several areas. And then they went into the stock market. They got a lot of money because his business was growing fast. And when they put the bonus out and received the money, they disappear in thin air. It was incredible. This was like maybe 25, 27 years ago. So this is not good news for the rest of the companies. But with this new municipality, things change because right now we have our own personality in the business world outside. It's not anymore San Felipe out there next to to Mexicali. Yes, Ross?
I've always been told another issue with the airport is that a certain number of hospital rooms have to be available should there be, a crash or something, and that's the biggest holdup, is having hospital.
Well, the main thing is that there has to be medical services and emergency services. So this is fire department and Cruz Roja mainly. Sometimes Cruz Roja doesn't have even an ambulance for the town, less to the airport. But it has been working on that. I think so. Jose Luis is interested in doing the airport work. But he has been only a couple of years, 3 years in the position, and he started from scratch, from zero, even no money, even no nothing. So they have to organize, construct everything. So they are still working from the old municipal buildings that were left to them by Mexicali. They haven't even constructed any new room, nothing. They are using what they got, but they are doing well. They are going ahead, and the town is looking different. And I hope so that in a close future we will be talking about airport. I don't do that personally. That's Jesus Olmos, but usually I am invited to some of these talks. So when that happens, I will let you know. Any other question? If not, okay, thank you very much for being here. See you in February at our next town hall meeting. And to our clerks, thank you very much for your assistance.